of the mystery religions into what is commonly known as the Illuminati. Excuse me, meaning enlightened ones. This was an amalgamation of powerful occultic bloodlines, elite secret societies, and influential Masonic fraternities. And all these rappers are all part of frats, all part of fraternities. Alright? That's why I see them all flashing Masonic hand symbols, because we're all part of Masonic fraternities. Alright? The Boule Society. The main one that these niggas fall into. It says, with the desire to construct the framework for a new world order. The outward goal of this utopia was to bring forth universal happiness to the human race. And what that really means is to bring forth universal happiness to the elites, because they don't give a shit about anybody else. However, their underlying intention was to gradually increase control over the masses, thus becoming masters of the planet, masters of the universe. Let's go down a little bit. Read some more about MK Ultra. Now, the hypothetical etymology of MK may possibly stand for mind control, which it does. Control is a German word. Alright? Because this was invented by German scientists, excuse me, which are known in the Bible as Teemen, which are the wisest of the crackers. The best of everything comes from Germany. It says the obvious translation of the German word control into English is control. A host of German doctors, Teemen, procured from the post-war Nazi talent pool, were an invaluable asset toward the development of MK Ultra. The correlation between the concentration camp experiments and the numerous sub-projects of MK Ultra are clearly evident. The various avenues used to control human behavior under MK Ultra include radiation, microwaves, cell phones, electroshock. Alright, now electroshock doesn't have to be physical. That goes excuse me, back into trauma, creating trauma. So electroshock could be a terrorist attack, crime rising in a city, bitches getting raped in Central Park. See, that calls for order, because that's chaos. It calls for order, a new world order. Alright, is what they're shooting for. Alright, now this also goes into, this is all basically torture methods. Alright, so Guantanamo Bay, what do you think they're doing over there? They're practicing their MK Ultra tactics on them people over there in Guantanamo Bay. Also in the prisons. Alright, that's why there's so many drugs going around in the prisons, because they're using them jakes in there, Puerto Ricans, as guinea pigs. Let's read on. Psychology. Alright. Psychiatry. Sociology. Anthropology. Graphology. So that means all that shit that you're learning in school is all witchcraft. It's all methods of mind control. That's why you hear brothers always say, schools teach you how to think, not to think for yourself. Alright, school is nothing but an institution to program you. Alright, might as well put straitjackets on everybody in there. But their mind is in straitjackets. It says harassment, substances, paramilitary devices, materials, LSD being the most widely dispensed material. Alright, and I remember back in the early 90s, you can go to Harlem, 125th Street, right on the corner, and you could buy mess tabs, LSD, anything, man. Alright, them white boys were heavily into it, into that stuff. Alright, and they were pushing that stuff hard during during the hippie era. Alright. And now they got all sorts of other drugs. They got now it's marijuana, dust. Alright. It says a special procedure designated MK Delta was established to govern the use of MK Ultra abroad. MK Ultra Delta materials were used for harassment, discrediting, or disabling purposes. White man's a goddamn devil. Project Monarch could be best described as a form of structured dissociation and occultic integration in order to compartmentalize the mind into multiple personalities. Right, so when you hear about people with split personalities, multiple personalities, that's the devil. That's the goddamn Illuminati, them elites, which are using their mind control to bug people the fuck out. Within a systematic framework. That systematic framework is what? America. America is a systematic framework for the New World Order. It says during this process, a satanic ritual, usually including Kabbalistic mysticism, is performed with the purpose of attaching a particular demon or a group of demons to the corresponding altar. Of course, most skeptics would view this, and all these skeptics are also part of the Illuminati, alright? And those people are hired to discredit the truth. Alright? So of course, most skeptics, if they're hired, if they're paid off, would view this as simply a means to enhance trauma within the victims, negating any irrational belief that demonic possession actually occurs. Now, if you remembered earlier in this lesson, alright, and I made reference to it a few times, that these witches or the Illuminati, they use them to channel demons through artists, and these artists actually get inspiration from these demons. Alright, and they actually throw these demons onto people, through fans, through whoever's listening to the music. And this artist will have a number of demons upon him. Now let's take a look at this guy Jim Morrison. Alright, I have a clip here that I want you brothers to check out, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
It was there at Venice Beach as Jim lived on the roof of an old abandoned building that Satan communicated music to Jim Morrison, who couldn't even sing at the time, through visions. It was here that Jim Morrison opened his heart up to Satan's vision. Jim Morrison admitted of this experience. In that year there was an intense visitation of energy. He said, "I left school and went down to the beach to live. I slept on a roof. I met the spirit of music." Who was that spirit? He said, "An appearance of the devil on a Venice canal. Running, I saw Satan." The material that Satan would communicate to Jim Morrison on Venice Beach would become the basis of the Doors' first two albums, and would be far more powerful than anything that they would make subsequently to that time. Morrison said, "I was living in this abandoned office building, sleeping on the roof. I just started hearing songs. I heard in my head a whole concert situation with a band and singing and an audience, a large audience. Those first 5 or 6 songs I wrote, I was just taking notes at a fantastic rock concert that was going on inside my head." Jim Morrison, who was incredibly shy and could not sing a lick, went through a demonic transformation on stage as the demons that possessed him sang through him. Ray Manzarek, the Doors keyboard player, points out that Jim Morrison was a shaman.
Jim's contribution to music was that Jim was real. Jim was real on stage. Jim was real when he wrote his songs, when he sang his songs in the studio. He was not a performer. He was not an entertainer. He was not a showman. He was a shaman. He was possessed, man. He was possessed, man. Possessed, man.
Manzarek also stated, "On stage, Morrison came alive and was the most exciting and dynamic performer I'd ever seen. He would go through trips on stage. You wouldn't believe the personalities that would come out of him, the intensity that would speak to the audience." Manzarek went on to say 15,000 people would just be hushed